Hi guys, so today I'm going to talk about my hair. I've gotten some fabulous reviews from my other video that I did on how to get from black hair to a deep red without bleaching. And I really appreciate all the views and all the positive comments. Thank you so much. So I wanted to give you an update. As you can obviously tell, I am no longer a redhead. I decided to go back to basics, go back to brown. So I did a lot of research and try to figure out how to get from red to brown without doing anything crazy. So this is what I did. I did not use a color stripper or anything like that. I allowed my hair to sort of let the red leave my hair naturally. So I just washed it a lot. I just obviously stopped dyeing it. So, and over time, the red just sort of started to fade. Now, obviously, it's a bit painful to go through that process because the red no longer looks like the red that it should. But I tolerated that instead of wanting to bleach my hair or use Color Oops or one of those hair strippers or anything like that. So I did that for a couple months, actually. And, after a couple of months, I did research about what kind of dye I would need to use to get from the red to the brown. So my understanding, I'm not a professional at all in terms of hair coloring, but when you're trying to get rid of a color, you need to do the exact opposite on the color wheel. So red, the exact opposite is sort of like an ash green. So you're supposed to go in that direction. Don't go with like a brown that has auburn in it, or else your hair will still end up very red. And if you're trying to completely eliminate the red, that's not the way to go. And obviously you can't go to anything crazy extreme like blonde unless you want to bleach it, which is what I didn't want to do. I just wanted to go back to a brown. So after some research and talking to the lovely ladies at Sally's, I went with the Ion Color Brilliance. They recommended the dark blonde. So I used this. I had 2 boxes of this and then the Sensitive Scalp 20 and the Ion. It went great. So I applied it as normal. I also added in sort of, what's it called again? There is sort of like a replacement filler, sort of like Olaplex, but it's the Sally's sort of, I know there's like a sort of knockoff version or whatever, but I went with that. So that helps sort of fill in any gaps if there's any damage that's been done for the dye. So I dyed it, put in the Olaplex, and I did a treatment after. I recorded a few of the steps that I took when I was dyeing it, so I'll show you these now, just so you can get a sort of a small sense of what I was doing, just to show you how I applied it and a few of the steps that I took, and then I'll come back and talk to you about the results. this is the result. salt, so it actually covered the red really, really nicely. Some of the red is still peeking through at some points, but it's actually really subtle, and I ended up liking it because it kind of just looks like some sort of highlights that are in there, sort of like an auburn natural highlights. I've gotten nothing but compliments about the new brown. The only thing I had an issue with was that this box says it's dark blonde, and I don't know in what world this is considered dark blonde. Like, to me, this is a deep, you know, rich brunette. So I was a little disappointed because I thought it was going to be a much more subtle brown, a little bit lighter. But in the end, maybe that wouldn't have actually covered my red. So that's fine, but I just thought that was a little odd. And I read a lot of reviews, a lot of people complaining that the Ion dye did end up being severely darker than what it said it was going to be. Now, disclaimer, the Ion also came with this normalizing post color shampoo, and I didn't use it. So I could probably, Ion would say that don't complain about the color if you didn't fully use the entire product. So maybe that's part of it. Maybe it would have been a little bit lighter but I have washed my hair since, so there wasn't a lot of bleeding or anything, so my color has relatively stayed exactly the same. So if it was gonna get any lighter, it probably would have already been lighter after that first shampoo. So that's it, that's the update. This is my new hair color. I'm hoping to eventually get some balayage done, but I'm giving it a break so that I don't go any crazy and do any damage to it. So I'm really happy with the fact that it turned out. It's still really nice, in good condition. I love the color. So in the end, I'm happy. So that's the update. Thanks guys, bye.